Hi students. So now let's talk about transportation of materials in plants. See, I told you in our last video, in our introduction part, that there are various methods through which the necessary materials are being transported in plants as well as animals. So now let's first talk about plants. See, the same way like we have proper system of transportation for the transportation of materials, the same way even plants have well-developed transport system. And this well-developed transport system is called vascular system. So plants have well-developed transport system which is called vascular system. Now this vascular system, it is made up of some specialized tissue, means those tissues are specialized to do transportation, right? And these tissues are called vascular tissues, right? So vascular system composed of some specialized tissues, and these tissues are called vascular tissues. Now we are talking about plants. So vascular tissues of plants, there are two types of vascular tissues in plants. One is xylem and the other one is phloem. So two types of vascular tissues are there, xylem and phloem. Let's first start talking about xylem. See, when we water the plant, let me show you. See, this is a tree. When this is grown up tree, right? Now when it was a plant and when we were watering these plants, right, it was like when we water the plants at the root level, right? We water plants here at root level, but still the growth is happening vertically. So all the parts like branches, leaves, fruits, trunk, all the parts of the plant all the parts are growing. Now how's that possible? We are watering plants here and all these parts are growing properly. Means there must be some system through which the water, minerals and the necessary materials are being transported in all the other parts of the plant. So there has to be movement of water and minerals through the roots to the other parts of the plant so that they can grow well. So this blue lines which you can see coming from the root and going above to the other parts, these are xylem. These tube-like structure, they are xylem. So xylem is vascular tissues, one of the vascular tissues. And this yellow part, it is phloem. So you can see the arrows, they are downward, means they are coming from the leaves and going towards the root level. So what we are discussing here is xylem is a tube-like structure. Xylem is a tube-like structure extending from the roots to the tip of the leaves. See, this is blue. It is going from root to the tip of the leaves. And these tube-like structure, they extend from the roots to the tip of the leaves and they transport. What do they transport? They transport water and minerals. And where? Upwards from the roots. So they go only in one direction because they need to transport only water and minerals to the upwards to the other parts of the plant so that they can grow. Now let's talk about phloem. So phloem, again they are also tube-like structure. Of course, you can see it here. See this yellow part, but they are growing, or they are going, these tube-like structures, they are moving from tip of the leaves towards the root. So they go from tip of the leaves to the roots. So phloem transport. So what are phloem? They are tube-like structure again. And xylem transport water and minerals, whereas phloem transports food. And we know what is food for the plant. It is in the form of glucose, which plants make with the help of photosynthesis process. So phloem transports food, that is glucose, from the leaves to the other parts of the plant. But remember, xylem goes in one direction only, but phloem goes in both the direction, or it can go in any direction. Why? Because phloem needs to transport food at all the paths. So naturally, it has to go towards all the paths, right? So they move bilaterally. So phloem transports food, that is glucose, from the leaves to the other parts of the plant. So what we have seen? We are talking about transportation of materials in plants, and we know that transportation, when we talk about transportation of materials in plants, we know that even plants have well-developed transport system, और इस system को vascular system कहते हैं. Vascular system एक specialized tissues से बने हुए हैं, जिन tissues का नाम है vascular tissues. दो टाइप के vascular tissues होते हैं, xylem and phloem. क्यों दो टाइप के होते हैं? क्योंकि वाटर और मिनरल को ऊपर जाना पड़ता है, और फिर उस वाटर और मिनरल की हेल्प से और फोटोसिंथेसिस के प्रोसेस से प्लांट्स और लीव्स जो भी फूड बनाते हैं, उस फूड को भी ट्रांसपोर्ट करना पड़ता है. सो नेचुरली plants need to transport two things, water, minerals and food, and that's why there are two types of vascular tissues. So xylem tube-like structure है, phloem भी tube-like structure है, but xylem water transport, water and minerals transport करते हैं, और वो भी in one direction, जबकि phloem food transport करते हैं, food in the form of glucose. इसको याद रखने का तरीका है phloem food, phloem food, ऐसे याद रखो. So it's a trick to remember. Once you remember phloem food, you can easily remember xylem water and minerals. So phloem क्या transport करते हैं? Food, that is the plant is making that food in the form of glucose from the leaves to the other parts of the plant. So this is how the main system, that is vascular system of plants working.